So what I told yesterday, we need to get the file extension exactly, right? In this approach, whatever we have written here, so in this particular approach, only the second one it will come. It's very, very simple. File extension, right? That's it. Done. So what we have done is, how can you get the last index number? Obviously the upper bound, right? Now when you say, okay, so there are 4 dots in the name. When there are 4 dots in the name, then you will get 5 values total. When there are 4 dots, 5 values. Then when you get 5 values, what will be the index number or maximum index number? 4. So U bound of that collection will be 4, right? Then that collection of 4 is nothing but last value it will get. That's it. First you get the maximum index size. Maximum index size is nothing but the last value. Then pass that. Now see whether it will give or not. Type mismatch, file extension 1. Where is that? The file dot name, split out the your file name. Line number 19, right? No, it should be ext. So even though there are dots in between now, you don't get any. You don't get any other things. Only the file extension you will get. It's very, very simple. Only thing is, you just get the last index number. How do you get last index number? By using U bound. That's it. Okay. So instead of passing 0 or 1. Then, so next what you need to do? I need to replace that VBS with TXT to change the extension, right? Just from continue in whatever we have discussed yesterday, same thing. Now here in this approach, what we are doing, we are getting the file name, from that we are getting the extension. But not only get the extension, right? We have to remove the extension, that's it. We have to remove the extension. How do we do that? Replace. Okay. Replace will be fine, but it doesn't work properly. Replace here. With replace what? VBS with TXT, right? Somewhere assume that it's there like this. When you do replace, that also it will replace, right? So will not replace, I mean it works, but only when you have only the extension, but not always. What will you do? You got what I'm saying? You got that script, right? So what is displayed there? I'm just getting the collection of files. Each file I'm getting the type. For each file I'm getting the type. I'm checking whether the type is script file or not, VB script file or not. If it is VB script file, then I'm getting the name. From name, I'm splitting the name with the dot. Okay. So why I'm splitting with the dot? Because I need to get the extension. So I'm getting the, after splitting with the dot, I'm getting the last value from the collection. Last value is nothing but the extension. So till there we have written. Now what we need to do is, we need to change the extension of the file. So that's a logic that we need to write down. How do we do that? Remember that you cannot directly, change the name. After changing the name, you are getting the name, right? You have to replace that, or you have to change that to text extension, and you have to provide that name with changed extension. That means file name has to be changed a little bit, not the direct. You cannot directly change the name of it. I'll tell you what I mean here. Any guess?
Remove the extension first. Remove the extension first.
Okay.
After that, append the another extension.
Append the txt. Okay. But not all the time, because how do you remove only the extension? Here you are fetching out, but that cannot be replaced. You are taking individual words, right? In entire string you need to replace. How do we remove? You have multiple ways here. What are they? Is this one is to get that is for to just get the extension, but you really don't need to fetch the extension back. So what I will do is file name equals to, or str name equals to, str file name is giving the along with the extension, right? Left of str file name, comma, what is mean by left? First specific number. How many characters that you want? If there are total 10 characters, by eliminating last 3, you get first 7. Right? If you say eliminate last 3, it will eliminate only VBS, but it comes with dot VBS, right? If you want to eliminate, then last 4. Or let it be dot will be. Just instead of VBS, we keep it as txt. How do you get only the first 7, eliminate only last 3? Say len of str file name. Got what I am doing here? What I am doing? First, this will get the length. How many characters are there in the file name? Assume that there are 10 characters or 15 characters are there in the file name. Then 15 minus 3, what it is? 12. So left of so file name comma 12 it will be when the file contains 15 characters. That means first 12 characters. Good. So if the file contains 10 characters, name contains 10 characters, then that will be left of str file name comma 7. So it will remove last 3 and it will get only first 7 characters. Then str name equals to whatever we are getting right here. Here we are eliminating the VBS. Without VBS we are taking. We are removing that VBS and we are appending txt. Then what you will get now? Just that file name dot txt you will get. If you want to see that, I will explain this logic. What is that? Nanda script. Can you see? It's giving txt extension. Now what I will do is here file dot name equals to str name. File dot name equals to str. That name property is there, right? Name property not only to retrieve the name of the file. So name property is used to change the name of the file also. Change the name of the file. So what we are doing now, in the beginning we are retrieving the name of the file, we are getting name of the file, and we are checking, we are eliminating the VBS from it, and that VBS is being replaced by TXT, and then I am giving, after changing the name to TXT file, then I am changing the name of the file. So you cannot directly change the extension. Remember that you cannot directly change. When you change the name, while changing the name, you have to provide the name along with the extension. Always you have to provide the name along with the, because when you retrieve the file name, how it is giving, it's not just giving only the name of the file, it is giving along with the extension, right? Similarly we are doing, when we are setting the name of the file, we are changing the extension, that's it. While retrieving, it is VBS, from that name I am taking VBS out and then just appending TXT, and then whatever is updated as TXT, I am giving that as a name of the file, same file, whatever the file that we are retrieving, and see whether it will work or not. All the files have been changed to TXT. I am coming to that. So if the extension is 4 characters, then that won't work. Right? Because what we are doing here, we are taking only last 3 characters out. But what in case if I have the, now let's say PPTX is there, PPT file is there, that is PPTX, right? Or Word document DOCX, that won't work. Sorry? Yeah. So what you need to do in this case? You need to write extended logic a little bit more. What you need to do? See, when you split here, right? How many words it will come? Maybe some words, not only that. Then you need to append all these words only in the name, right? The last part will be the extension. By eliminating the last one, assume that there are total, take one name here. How many will come when I split with dot? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 words total. Eliminate last one. 1, 2, 3. You have to take these 3 and then you have to append these names back, and after appending, add TXT to that. Okay? So now let me change it back to VBS and then we will run it. So I'm just changing back to VBS. Let's save this. Okay, nothing is VB script file here. All are text document, right? All are text document only. But it will change the file name only. Okay, that's the reason none of the file has got changed. In case if it is text document, then only change it. Change it back. Only to just change it back. Okay. Now what we will do is, how it is been done, VB script file, right? Okay. So it should be changed to TXT. I'm just coming it back. So take this out. This is also not required. And you are splitting, right? if u bound of don't write down, I will tell what I'm trying to do here. Did you get what I have written there? If u bound of that file extension is more than 1, that means if there are only 2 values, if the file doesn't have any dot, file name doesn't have any name, only the extension, while changing the extension it has got dot, right? So that means for this only at extension it has got the dot, name doesn't have any dot. Then how many values will come? Only 2 values. So when 2 values have come, then what is the upper bound value? 1. Upper bound will be only 1, right? 0 and 1. So when there are only 2 values returned, it will be 0 or 1, that's it. But when it is greater than 1 means? Greater than? More than 1 value has come. For what I am doing there? I am not looping through last value. You know why I am not looping through last value? Last one is the index, right? Sorry, last one is the extension. I don't want the extension. I want to append only the name values. That's it. So that's the reason e bound -1 I am giving. Then next what I have to do? I have to append it back, right? I have to append it back. str name equals to what I'm doing. I'm taking one by one. Why I'm using dot there? Because whenever I split, right, I'm splitting with dot, right? Whenever I'm appending back, then in between each word dot has to be placed. I mean, I have to get the name as same, however I have split. Anyone can tell that logic, what I have, the loop, whatever I have written there? Can anyone? But still that I need to change a little bit. I will write you one more. Going a little complex. Don't write down. Invalid call or procedure argument, line number 34. Because it will be empty by default str name. We are not taking update. It says dot VBS occurrences. So one moment, str name equals to initially if I value equals to 0. Can you get the name is appending back here, right? No. File already. Line number 36. One minute. There is one more logic change. This will work only if the file if we get more than one word, right? In case if one more than two values. Okay, so just see what we will do is, if there is only one, I will directly take 0. Okay, so now see whether it will work or not. Have been updated, right? Okay, so let us take any other file extension. Take this, 4 are there, right? It is Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Take this as how it is displayed. Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint is, so we should have given use case. That's it, right? This is how it's displayed. I'm not changing anything. So extension has to be changed to txt. But this time there are 4 characters in the extension, right? See, even 4 are there, it is changing. Okay, now let us do one thing. Logic goes, logic has gone a little complex, right? Let's understand one by one what exactly happening there. I'm just debugging it in a tool. You have to understand line by line, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just open the UFT, and inside UFT we will understand each logic, so that it will be easy for you to understand what is the output of each line, how it is coming, and what exactly we are doing. Okay. Let it be. Now this file system object, right? All this is tool. Don't forget about tool, what I'm doing. I mean, don't look at the tool and look at only the script. Okay, so whatever we have here. and keep looking at this watch also, the below one. Okay. Now, you know what I'm doing there? Okay, so here, whatever the line which was executed, whatever the folder that I have given, I'm just accessing the folder. Then, what I'm doing there in that line number 5, what that method does, it gets the collection of the files. I'm just giving the count of the files. Earlier there were 13 only, it was displaying only 13. Now it is 14 because I just added one more file, right? I copied and pasted the file. 14 are there. Then, what I am doing there in this, whatever is selected, I am looping through each and every file that whatever we have got into the collection. So for each and every file we are taking and then we are looping through. Then, what is the type of the file? Just observe, keep observing this watch tab below also. So generally watch tab is used for observing the variables during runtime, how the variable values are keep updating, so that you can understand the logic better. What is the type of the file? Text file, right? The name of the file is, okay, it's not defined, that method will not be executed. Then, so the condition whatever is there, that condition will not match, right? What is the condition we have used? If the file type is Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, then only go inside and change it. Okay. Where it went? Next. So without executing anything. Then what it does? It will take the second file. Again, what is the file type? Still it is text document only. So it went next. It's not meeting with the condition. Then what it is? Just below. Still it is a text document. Not gone inside the condition. Then it is again text document. Not gone inside the condition. When it is, okay, so it is still text document. Still text document. There are a lot of files with the text document. Now we have got a file, Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. What is the name of the file? New Microsoft PowerPoint presentation of copy.pptx. Right? Then what we are doing here in the selected line? Sorry, in the 13th line, what we did? We are splitting the file with dot. How many dots are there? Only one is there. How many values will come? Only one dot is there. What does it mean? The name, core name doesn't contain any dots in it. Only to separate the extension and name, okay, dot is there. Right? So, how many values will come when I split with the dot? 2 values. Right? 2 values will come there. Then, the last index, what will be the last index? Last index is 1 only, right? So, I mean the upper bound will be only 1 because only 2 values have come into that. Then what is the condition I am using here? If the upper bound is greater than 1, if the upper bound is greater than 1, that means if more than 2 values have come when we split with the dot. But there is only 1 value has come right here. So what I am doing there? str name equals to, in case if it is greater than 1, then another logic we are executing. But in case if it is not greater than 1, if it is equal to 1, then what I am doing there? I am taking the first value. What is mean by first value in this case? This will be the first value after splitting with the dot. This will be the second value. Then what I am doing there? Giving 0. What is mean by 0? taking first value, that is a code name, right? Then after that what I am doing, whatever the first name that I have taken, right, whatever the name that I have taken, I am appending txt to that, right? So taking just core name of the file, and that core name we are just appending .txt. Then what I am doing, whatever the name that I have generated now, that name I am giving back to the file, whatever the file that we have accessed. That's how we change the name. You cannot directly change file.name equals to so and so name that you can give, right? Similarly, next, you know why I am using empty here? Because every time str name should start with empty, so that it will take only that particular file name. If str name is not empty, no, so it will take the previous file name along with the new file name also. So instead of doing that, I am refreshing the str name every time. You will understand that now. Next, what is the file type here? Presentation. Name of the file is new Microsoft PowerPoint presentation.pptx. Then upper bound will be again 1 only, because it doesn't contain any dot. So again it will change the file into txt extension, and then it will append the name. Now for none of the file this will match, this condition will match, so it will just be executed for remaining files. Then only those two files are there. PowerPoint. Okay, same thing now. Let us do one thing. From txt to VBS we need to make. If it is test document, I need to make it to VBS. Okay, fine. Let's understand this logic. Understand the variables main, that's a key part, how the variable values are updating. Okay, we are taking the collection of files again. Total 14 files are there. Then looping through each file. What is the type of the file? Text document. That is then the condition says text, the file type also text document, right? Whatever the condition we have given, that condition is matching. Then what we are doing, I am taking the name of the file. Then so when you split with the dot, how many values come into that? Only 2 values. So last index I am taking, upper bound will be 1 obviously, because only 2 values have come into that. When 2 values have come, then take the first value directly. So second value is obviously the extension, take only the first value. So take that into str name. Then what I am doing, the core name, this is the core name of the file. I am taking this and I am appending .vbs to that. I am just appending .vbs. Then I am changing the name of the file, that's it. Then what is the name of the file? Again 2 values only come. Again it will come to this. The first value, take first value, append a .vbs and change the name of the file. Then only 2 values. Again it will come here. Still 2 values. Again 2 values. Again 2 values. time it should be more than 2. There are total index number, upper bound is 3 here. You know upper bound, why upper bound is 3? Because when I split with the dot, 1, 2, 3. There are total 3 until the last one dot txt is the fourth one. So total 4 values it will return, right, when I split with the dot. That's the reason index number is giving us, upper bound is giving us 3. Total 4 values it has written, upper bound is written as 3. Then, what is the U bound of file extension? Is it 1 or no, right? Greater than 1. It is 3 this time. If you want to see that, this is the last index, 3. Right? So upper bound is 3. So what it has to do now? What is the loop that I am writing there? 0 to, I said upper bound minus 1. Any guess why I am using upper bound minus 1? When you say upper bound total, all these values, right? But I want to append only, by eliminating this, I want to append only these values. So the last value is gone for the extension. So while appending back those values, I want to eliminate the extension. I don't want to consider the extension, file extension. So that's the reason if there are 4 values, first 3 values belong to name and the last value belongs to extension. So remove that extension. So don't take the extension into the consideration and loop only for first 3 values, because first 3 belong to the name here. So that's what I am trying to do there. Then what you need to understand is I have done one logic here. First one, if I equals to 0, this is little tricky to understand for you. What is the I here? 0, because first this is the first occurrence. Here, why I am using that condition if I equals to 0? Forget about this condition for a while. If I don't use the condition, I can directly append like this with this line. I can directly append with that line. But if I directly append with that line, you know what happens? First time, what is str name there for first time? Empty. Right? That is a new variable. So str name will be empty. Now when I append the value there, empty dot file extension of 0, the first value. So dot will be added in the beginning, right? But we should not add dot in the beginning of the file. So what we need to do is first, if it is first value, how can I say if it is first value? If I index number I is 0, then okay, so it is the first value. If I is 1, then that will be the second value. So what I am doing is, in case you are taking the first value, then first value directly assigned to the str name. First value directly assigned to the str name without appending any dot or anything, directly just assign the value. Only for first value, the first value will be directly placed without appending with any dot or anything, because I don't want to get any dot or anything in the beginning of the file. But if you don't use this, what happens if you directly use this, you know? First time also, empty dot first value. So dot first value will come. So dot will come in the beginning of the file. To eliminate that dot, eliminate that particular dot, what I am doing, in case if you are getting the first value, then don't add any dot or anything, directly append the first value to the str name, that's it. Okay? Then, so first time, which condition, that is the first value, right? See first str name, how it will be. How the str name gets appending. First time it just right now it is empty. What is the str name there? Which value it is? First value. So first value is appended. Go back. What is the I value now? First iteration is 1, second iteration it has come 1. So condition will not match, it will come to the else. Then str name equals to what I am doing? Str name ampersand dot second value. So what is there in str name now? Finding is already there, right? First value is appended. Then the first value plus second value. Can you see? Just look at below. This one here. How the value is appended. Then third one again just appended. Done. 3 values, it's completed. First value, no dot will come, directly appended. But from second value, I'm appending to the existing values. Because first time when it is executing, str name will be empty by default. So instead of saying str name ampersand dot first value, because when I do that, then dot will come in the beginning of the file. For if before first value, dot will be added. To avoid that, what I have done is, in case if it is first value, without appending dot or anything, directly assign the first value to the str name. From second value onwards, say okay, the previous value dot current value, previous value dot current value, like that. When it is first value, I didn't have any previous value. So I don't need to say previous value dot current value. I can directly say str name equals to current value when it is first one. Okay, when it is first value. Got it? What I am doing? Then I got the name here after appending on. Loop is completed. That str name dot VBS is added. File name should be changed. Again, file type is text document only. Name of the file is, no dots are there. Sorry, right? So only 2. So it should go here directly. We will come back, we will get one more. So this also only 2. This also, okay. This also only 2 are there. Just look at the yellow line, how it is going. That's now here. Okay. Dots have come, right? So what will be the upper bound? Upper bound will be, this time how many are there when you split with the dot? 1, 2, 3, 4 values it will come. Total 4 values. Upper bound will be 3. So that condition, its upper bound is greater than 1, right? So I equals to 0 to, what is I value? 0 there. So first time when I is 0, take the first one. What is the first value here? User. Take only user. So str name has become user. I value is 1. So second value it has done. Previous value is str, in the str name, user is already there, right? This time what is mean? User. I will add this also. Defined function. That is the second one. Right? Defined function. So str name dot defined function. So str name will become as user dot defined function. Let's see. Previous value ampersand current value. That's what I am giving. Then what is I value? 2. I value is 2. What is the value is there in that file extension of I? That means file extension of I is nothing but file extension of 2. Then to count uppercase or lowercase letters. Then what it will become as user dot defined function dot to count uppercase or lowercase letters. Got all the values are being executed. Then whatever the value is there, I'm just appending VBS to that. And then I'm updating the name of the file. Remaining on same here. So this is the logic. Very simple. It is how you analyze this. I will just give you the logic here, what exactly we have done. First we will split with the dot. If the name doesn't contain any dot, then I will get only two values. One is the name of the file, second one is the extension. So when I get only two values, upper bound will be 1. That's what my validation is here. First initial validation. If upper bound is only 1, that means okay, two values only I have got. One is the name, second one is the extension. So take the name directly. Right? That collection of 0 means it will take the name. Then I am taking that into str name. Since whatever the extension that you want to give, that name dot so and so extension I am giving, then I am changing the name of the file. Then next I am going to second file, one more file. This time again I am taking the name of the file and then I am splitting that. In case if I get upper bound as more than 1 after splitting, that means name also has got the dots. Then by eliminating that extension, eliminating the last value, why eliminating last value? Last value is the extension. So last but one, till there I am executing. Take one by one value, all these values belong to the name only. Append all those values back together. While appending all those values back together, add dot in between. While appending, add dot in between. But when you are appending the first value, when you are giving the first value, if you add dot in the beginning, right, what happens? Maybe that's not, you don't get the same name again. That is the reason what I am doing is, when you are taking the first value, then directly store the first value in the str name without appending with dot or anything, because before the first value, no dot is placed. Okay? So, because previous value was not there, so instead of saying previous value dot current value, so directly say current value. Then from second value onwards, say like this, previous value dot current value, previous value dot current value, so that extension will be happening. Then once you get all this, since okay, you are not looping till last one, you are looping last but one, right? So extension will not be appended back to the name, only the name will be coming. Then so for that name, you give the extension whatever you want, ampersand dot vbs dot txt or dot docx or any name whatever you want, any extension. Then change the name of the file. That is the core logic that we have written. Just to understand, we just gone line by line what you are doing. So you need to understand line by. That's what debugging meant for. When you write huge amount of logic and all, right? So sometimes in this whatever the script that you have written, when you have written this much of code, if there is a small logic or logical mistake that you have done in some place, then it will be very difficult for you to understand. Right? I'll tell you here. So by mistake, you missed this. By mistake, you missed out this. Then fine. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oops, 1 minute. By mistake, I executed everything. So, if you do the logical mistake, see how much confusion it will be. Then how to trace that logical mistake. You are going to get the tool later, but why I have taken tool, because VBS editor doesn't have any line by line debugging option to understand. So that is the reason I have taken into the tool to show you the line by line how each value is being updated. So what we have done now is called as debugging concept. what we have done is one minute. Okay, so none of the file has got text document, right? Earlier we have changed it to VB script file. How that extension will be coming up? VB script file .txt. Again I have executing from beginning. Stop it. You should not execute from beginning, you should execute only this particular piece of code. What is the name of the file? Check for prime number. 1 minute. So there is nothing is going on. Yeah, every time it is being refreshed, no problem. It is doing that. Or if I don't do this, if I don't do that, assume that okay, so we forgot to do that logic. Let's see how that happens. Again I ran from beginning, right? Should not click on run, because in the first action there was something else placed, so I don't want to execute that. I execute only this block of code. Run current action. None of the file is. There is a big problem. We are changing from earlier, it was changed, right? Text document, right? Let's understand what's the problem with this. We have done some logical thing. Are we changing this here? Wait a moment. Okay. 1 minute. VB script file on .txt. But could have done it for different folder. Run current action. Okay, so this number is name is coming fine. This name is fine. This name is fine. This name is fine. See now how this name is coming. Output is wrong, right? So how this name is coming? Previous file name plus current file name. That's how it is giving, right? Confusion starts here. Why it is coming? This happens in the real also. If you do the logical mistake in one place, then just by assume that this piece of code is not written at all. This piece of code is not written. By looking at the code, can you understand what the problem is and why it is coming like that? You can't understand, right? So why we have learned, why we have gone line by line to understand where the mistake has been made. Okay, that's what debugging mean for. But unfortunately, in the VBS editor, that whatever we are using to learn VB script and all, it doesn't have any debugging option, line by line debugging and all. So that's the reason we have taken into the tool. But you don't need to understand the tool what is there, debugging methods and all. This is only to show you how to rectify the logical issues. Logical issues are key things. When it is syntax error and all, if you have made errors are various types. When you have made syntax errors, like let's say I have written if statement but commented out end if, but every if statement must end with end if, right? So now I commented out that end if, that will not be considered. Commented line will not be considered. So that's a syntax error that we are making. But when you have got syntax error made, so your script will not be executed even one line. So that as soon as you click on run, then it will automatically identify the syntax error. So no problem when you are making the syntax error, that will clearly give you the problem. So you can easily identify. So what's the line number? Line number 23. So there is some problem at line number 23. Okay. So something unexpected or something is script is expecting. Got what I'm saying? So when you make the syntax error, that won't be any problem. I mean, the script itself will give you where you have made the syntax error. But when you make the logical error, right, these are the key things always. Script will not throw you any error, but it will give you a wrong output. Script will not throw you any error, it gives you the wrong output. So in such cases, what you need to do is, whatever we have done now, you have to go line by line and see how each variable, what number of lines, how each line is being executed, when each condition is being executed, when each loop is being executed, number of times loop is being executed, when it is coming out of the loop, and when the condition is being satisfied, when the condition is not being unsatisfied, when the value is being appending, and how the variable values are being updated. Okay, so you need to understand these things, then only we will be able to rectify the issues. Now let us understand why it is giving the wrong value only for some names. Only for few names it is giving wrong value, and for few names it is giving right value. So there could be little confusion there, right? Why it is giving wrong value there? Let's understand how exactly we do that. This is, even now when you are automating the applications, right? This is quite common. This is quite common. Okay. Let me do same logic again. It should be updated as text document, right? Text document dot VBS. Then I'm running the current action only. Run current action. All files. Text document. What is the name of the file here? Check for prime number.txt. What we are doing now, str name equals to, I'm taking the name directly, right? So I'm saying str name equals to file extension of 0 without appending or anything. I'm directly, so when you directly assign the value, previous value whatever is there, it will overwrite, so that it will come with fresh name automatically, the new name will come. So it is coming as check for prime number. Then I'm just giving the extension here. Fine. So name of the file is gone. So only two values are there. Previous value will be overwritten automatically because I directly assigning the value. Name has come, fine. oops, should have done something. 1 minute. Again, we did some logical mistake here. To come that this is supposed to be commented out. We have not commented this out. This is supposed to be commented out. This is only to explain you how generally we rectify the logical issues in case if you have made, because we are seeing a lot of logics and all, then you may get fear saying that okay, so this much piece of code, if there are any issues we can't rectify, no problem. So we just seen only the editor now, but when you go with the tool, right, tool will give you a lot of options for you to identify the logical issues and all. So we go with this way. This is how generally we rectify all the logical issues, complex codes and all, how we understand and how we fix the issues and all, in this way only. We try to understand each and every line. So that's not a text document, fine. The name of the file is do loop. Then I'm directly assigning the value there. So it will overwrite automatically. So what is the name of the file? Again, we are directly overwriting it. So no problem. That is giving correct name. So this also overwrites. So no problem. Original value is giving. And this also directly assigning. So overwriting. So no problem. It gives the correct name only. Now here, see, now extension is, your upper bound will be more than 1. Now see what's happening here. What is there in str name now? What is there in str name? In the str name, finding occurrences.vbs is already there. Finding, right? It is not there. So it's already there. So what I am doing now, str name ampersand dot file extension of I. So what it is doing here is, now previous file name plus the current value. So the previous file name is appending back to the current file name. So this is the logical mistake that we have done here. So that's the reason why I told str name empty, why I am setting, because previous file name should not be carried to the current file name. So that is the reason after changing the name of the file, str name I am setting as empty. This is the main reason. Otherwise, if you don't do that, what happens, the previous file name will be carried to the current file name. So current file name, previous file name, ampersand, current file name, it will come like that. So this is some logical mistakes and all we do. Most commonly we do. It's not, you never need to worry that, okay, so I do this kind of mistakes. But tool will give you the options to rectify all those logical issues by going this debugging option. So mostly whenever we write the complex logics and all, this is mandatory. You do the debugging. You will understand all these comments, whatever we are executing for debugging, going line by line execution, or sometimes I'm executing only one block of code, right? So that you will understand when we learn the tool. No need to worry on that. Okay? Got what I'm saying here? So this is what, why I took this way is because I know that some of the people are just already in little worry saying, we need to write too much of complex or we get a lot of complex logics and all, then how do we write and all? Never need to worry. Once you start the tool and all, tool will give you the better options than the editor. So you will understand line by line. Now you can easily rectify. But for 1 or 2 scripts, it takes time for you to go line by line and debugging it. But if you debug 2-3 piece of codes, right, then debugging third will be very easy. You can easily rectify the issues, all the logical. But remember, when you make the syntax error, you never need to worry. It will be, as soon as you run the code, it will automatically give you the pop-up. Even single line also will not be executed. Wherever that logical error is, syntax error is made, it will give you the line number saying, okay, so you made the syntax error at so and so line. Or tool will give you the option like this. 1 minute. It's not being executed. So tool has got the options to check all the syntax errors before you execute. Tool will has got the option to check for all syntax errors and all. But only logical errors, just by looking at the code or without debugging it, you cannot rectify the logical errors. What we have seen now is debugging concept. When you go with the complex logics and all, you must have to debug. Okay. So fine, we'll stop here today. But got that? Even though you didn't get the logic, but just remember that no worries, you're going to get the logic, but we have to see many more. Then only your mind is still not tuned to understand the logics much. So small logics you can understand, but this kind of complex logics, your mind is not in tune. Slowly we will get that. Okay, so one by one, if you debug some more scripts like this, then you will easily get, you can easily understand that one by one. Okay, so no need to worry. In case if you don't get, if you have little confusion in this logic, no need to worry. Your mind has to be tuned still.